So you've just described about 15 years worth of work. This was about 15 years in the making, starting at the beginning with season one, part one. Uh, how does it feel to have done that work? This product is out. It's beautiful. It's the single largest archive of Bonanza that exists. And people say, why no Blu-ray? How does that feel?
Well, it's a question that I expect because it's a common question, but my basic answer, my honest answer is it's a matter of economics, as it's explained to me, as you know as well as I do, better than you. If you look at sales numbers, DVDs outsell Blu-rays. Period. Full stop. End of discussion. So if you have a decision maker, a bean counter, if you will, who's trying to decide whether to release a product in a DVD format or a Blu-ray format, he or she is going to opt for the DVD because they're going to make more money because more people are buying DVDs and Blu-rays. Now, why is that? Again, you know that as well as I probably, sure, better. But the sort of short general answer, as I understand it, is DVD came like gangbusters in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and after a few years, the Blu-ray format won something of a format war and emerged as the desired successor, if you will, to DVD, much as DVD succeeded videotape, home video cassettes. And so people were just starting to acquire Blu-ray players and Blu-ray product, which was not released by the studios in abundance. They released far more DVDs and Blu-rays initially. And then Netflix came with their remarkable revolutionary streaming concept, replacing the concept of renting DVDs and then returning them. Now you could stream, and you know what happened with that, of course. And so consumers, not so much the enthusiasts, the aficionados that we are conversing with or conversing at, they increasingly abandon DVDs as a source for viewership, for their viewing habits, and started streaming. So Blu-ray, I think, didn't really get a chance to catch on. And so it was only something reserved for a finite number of enthusiasts. So that sort of tradition, I guess, has continued today. And I guess that's why there are less sales of Blu-ray, because there are still viewers who have their DVD players and DVDs from years ago, and I just continue that. I don't see a need to upgrade.
Yeah.
Whether mine ultra high definition 4K. So I think it's just a matter of economics and also track records. Again, I could talk best about CBS Paramount because I've worked there most. I Love Lucy, classic television program. No one would question its ability to bring in the sales numbers. And in fact, you could repackage I Love Lucy any number of ways and it would still sell. Best of episodes that emphasize particular characters, wonderful illustrations on box covers instead of photographs, and it would sell well. So the decision was made to release them on Blu-ray. Didn't sell well. Same thing with The Honeymooners, the classic, so-called Classic 39, sold very well on DVD, but Blu-ray, not so much. The exception, of course, is Star Trek. Star Trek, the original series, and Star Trek, the subsequent incarnations, they're sort of a unique entity onto their own. But because CBS has observed that their Blu-ray incarnations of classic programs, for the most part, haven't sold well, and they're not going to take the additional step, spending more money to release them in the Blu-ray format.
The truth is that TV on Blu-ray does not sell very well. It is a very small niche of the audience that will support that. They want complete series box sets, and they want it for pennies on the dollar. And that's not how you get stuff. That's not how you pave the way to having good things. You might be more suited to speak to this than I am, but I've heard for years that Star Trek: The Next Generation on Blu-ray was a huge financial loss for Paramount for the studio because they spent all this money to restore the original 35 millimeter elements and had to redo all the special effects because those special effects were finished in 480p. They're finished in standard definition, so they had to redo everything, and they spent tons of money. And then they released them. I believe they released them individually as seasons, and it took. I've heard upwards of 10 years to get that investment back. I don't. Do you have any insight, or do you know anything about that?
I have no reason to disagree with anything you've said because it sounds right. But as far as any additional information, no, I don't have anything
Yeah.
to add. And I know that it was a disappointment, especially because they spent, to say the least, they spent
Yeah.
certainly a lot of money
Yeah.
remastering and restoring the original 79 episodes that comprise the original series that was broadcast on NBC from 1966 to 1969. And in a somewhat controversial move, they decided to create new special effects.
Yeah.
And these would be special effects that would have been used had they had a sufficient budget in the late 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
And then gave viewers the opportunity to watch the show with the enhanced special features or as it was originally broadcast, which I think is the best way to present it.
Yeah, I do too.
So because that was successful, I guess they figured they could have similar success with the Next Generation, but it's not the case.
I think the fans they want to act as if as if there's some grand conspiracy. It all comes back to finances. DVD sales are what paved the way for potential Blu-ray. Blu-ray sales are what paved the way for a potential 4K. If you're not buying the Blu-ray, you can't. I'm sorry, if you're not buying the DVD, you can't expect a Blu-ray because you have to support each step along the way. It's not rocket science. It is as simple as you support this, then maybe we can get this. And there's so many things that have to fall in line there too, right? You got to have the elements in place. You've got to have those high definition scans that have been done all along the way. So we have a responsibility, and I say we as the fan community who love film, who love preservation work, we have a responsibility to support the things that we're interested in because I always say we vote with our wallets. Every dollar that we spend and every dollar that we don't spend is voting for what we're going to get down the road.
I agree 100%. And I think that fans have to be a little more understanding and appreciative and glass half full versus glass half empty kind of attitude. And a good quality DVD release is certainly better than no disc release.
Yeah.